itchy eye. Hang on. Okay. Oh, the rest of the place is open. Or at least the corridor is. Well, everything is. That a tablet? Today I began my employment at Preservation. The organization was unfamiliar to me, but when the recruitment letter arrived, I had a gut feeling that this work would be far more fulfilling than any orthodox medical practice. My instincts were correct. Master Calix's philosophy is the refined ideal of notions I've only ever vaguely entertained, that mankind must evolve beyond the shackles of its flesh and blood existence. I had a meeting with Director Demetrius today. I've heard others praise his genius intellect, yet he seems but a guttering candle in comparison to Master Calix's blinding brilliance. This morning I was permitted access to the top floor and observed the workings of living memory. As I predicted, the shortage of ether required to sustain the Endless is reaching critical levels, yet Queen Sphene, quote-unquote, insists on continuing her ineffectual flailing. Our Milala colleagues, including the Proto-Lab chief, have been behaving in a decidedly suspicious manner of late. Should I report my concerns to the director? From tomorrow, I have been assigned to assist with the research project in the Dawntrail lab. We are scheduled to conduct a major experiment, the details of which I have been kept ignorant. It would seem prudent to back up my memory data. Holy crap! Okay, so there's shit around that I can read. Know the things. I need to know the things. Oh, the other door's closed. Nah. Did we leave something behind maybe that could that we could read? Don't think so. I found out about the thing so quickly that yeah. Data terminal. It displays what appears to be the index page of an employee manual. Personnel protocols. For security reasons, Containment Complex 1029 has been registered as a materials distribution center. Keep this in mind and conduct yourself accordingly both inside and outside the facility. Each employee must perform their tasks within their designated workrooms, the Researcher's Commons, the Proto Lab, or the Dawntrail Lab. Entrance into another workroom without official clearance is strictly forbidden or prohibited. Carry your security card at all times. Your clearance level dictates the areas to which you have access. Equip your regulator at all times. Due to highly confidential nature of the research materials and other data managed within this complex, Preservation retains the ownership of and the rights to modify the memories of all registered personnel. The rights to modify. Research objectives. Access denied. Please log in with your personnel account to view. Leadership personnel. Complex Director Demetrius. Protolab Chief EOS4. Dawntrail Lab Chief redacted. Okay. That's it? You hold the level 1 security card up, but the scanner beeps in disapproval. No good? Maybe we need a different card? Yes, the scanner is demanding a level 3 security clearance to open the lock. As much as the delay chafes me, we'll just have to comb through the nearby rooms and hope we stumble upon the card we need. Let's start our research in the Proto Lab. That door is already open at least. We'll find a way through together, Shale. I'm sure of it. What's that room I was in? So I wouldn't miss it. The way this room is set up. The canister inserted into that large device looks to be a soul cell. Could this be where they conducted their experiments to create Endless? Ah, but we could probably spend days investigating this complex. Finding a way into the director's office must take precedence. Speaking of which, Goluja mentioned a locker over in the corner that he couldn't open. Perhaps you could take a look. I will punch it open. Leave it to me. We. It requires a correct combination to open it. No, wait, no, I don't want to enter the combination. No. Oh, this is cool. We never had to do this in Final Fantasy. Dude, I don't... Please let me leave. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know the combination. I have to talk to them. I dug through this data tablet and found a journal. I'll read it to you. The results of experiment 158. Should I take notes? Oofy, I probably should. Game notebook in action. Show a marked improvement in ether extraction rates. At last we have achieved the target value set by Master Calyx. Though I will become endless as per our ascendancy protocols, I will preserve this historic number along with my few remaining worldly effects. Preserve the number? I know. It's weird shit. Shale! Please excuse my impatience. The means to track down Calyx are close and I'm itching to get my hands on them. Sure, girl, you do your thing. This machine feeds into a soul cell. I am reminded of my own imprisonment by the Empire. Oh my god, that was long ago. Surely this device wasn't made to hold people? Maybe, in a way. These notes seem to be about the research they did in here. Let's take a look. Experiment 148. Submitting inference candidate... Oh, this looks like a good number. 201930. To be considered for efficiency procedure review. Experiment 158. Oh, whoa. Maximum value of 11509 recorded. Comparative study to be included in the report. Alright then. And one more. Experiment 163. New proposal produced a result of 9834. Decreased value verified. Well, I have no idea what any of that means. Maybe it will make sense later on. Well... How many digits do we have here? Yes. How many digits? Up to 5. Okay, we have 5. Okay. Aha! The locker pops open. Inside you discover a level 2 security card. Well, that's not what I need. But maybe we can open that other door that I saw. Eliena, you got the locker open. And you found another security card. Oh, but does that say level 2? We needed a level 3, didn't we? Yeah, but it should still open more doors for us to explore. You did well, Eliena. I know. These preservation members led such surprisingly normal lives. Leaving notes, losing their cards. I guess I imagined they'd be more, what's the word? Bloodless? Mechanical? My parents were once part of preservation, if you'll recall. Crazy woman. It would seem the researchers who agreed with Calyx and his philosophy underwent the conversion to endless entities. But I assume those who could not, or would not, eventually left the organization altogether. Oh, I almost forgot. The researchers kept journals in their data tablets. The one I read doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex, and afterwards it was decided that everyone would become endless. The writer was really happy about this. You can tell how much they admired Calyx and his work. The entries ended after that, but maybe you can read more in the other tablet there. Right, let's move this investigation to another room. And I already read the thing. Well, we have the Dawntrail lab and the maintenance facilities left to search. Both are accessed via the southeast corridor. So it's back to the hub and the locked door across the way, which will hopefully yield before our new security card. I'll take the old one if you like. I doubt we'll have any more use for it. Okie dokie. Yes, it opened. So where should we go first? The Dawntrail lab or facilities? Let's start with the lab. You got it. Shale, there doesn't seem to be any power here. No, none at all. It's possible the energy supply for this room is on a separate conduit, which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here, there is a sign above the card scanner. In case of emergency, backup power can be rerouted from facilities. The facilities room is down the other branch of this corridor. Let's see about getting the power restored to the Dawntrail lab, shall we? Shall we? We shall. We shall. Oh, there she is. Oh, that's something weird. Engaging power supply. No good. It's returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Oh my god. Shale, that's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes, and by the looks of it, it's the same model as the one used in Heritage Found. But how does it send power to the other lab? Ah, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall directly to the Dawntrail lab. Which means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable. What about these patterns on the floor? Could this be the circuit we need to reconfigure? I believe you have the right of it. Using the control panels set into each of the tiles, we create an unbroken path for the power to follow. What I wouldn't give for an instruction manual. Me too. Indeed, if you could look around for any written procedures, I'll keep digging through the terminal's directories. Might I also ask someone to operate the generator? I can do it. I've used that type of machine before. Then would you be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path, Eliena? The rest of us can help by supplying Eliena with whatever information might be found in the circuitry configuration. Yay! Puzzle. Oh, These appear to be data logs from a former age. My scholarly interest is piqued by a few of the labels, but none are relevant to the task at hand. I've also had no luck locating more security cards. We shall have to rely upon our backup power strategy, I'm afraid. Eliena, take a look at this diagram. There is a note in the bottom left about backup power. Configure the 4 circuit control panels to provide an uninterrupted path. Yeah, it's easy to figure it out. These symbols must represent the room we're in. If that square in the top left is Shale's terminal, then the bottom right should be the generator that Goluja is working on. It's hard to make out the rest. Assuming these are our 4 tile patterns, the bottom right is a square and the top right is half a circle? That's something to get you started at least. The generator doesn't seem to need any fancy settings. As long as it's running and the circuit is fixed, we should have power supply ready to go. I was able to glimpse part of a warning sign behind the containers. From what I could make out, it said, "Caution, circuit will not function with duplicate patterns." I suppose that means that only one of each circuit pattern can be set at the same time? Okay. I think it was this one? Yeah. Yay! Please don't set me on fire. You have connected all the circuits. Inform your comrades of the successful reconfiguration. It worked! We did it, Eliena. I know. We did it. The Dawntrail lab should now be fully powered. Well done, everyone. If I may, Shale, could we access a certain data log before moving on? I was checking the storage shelves and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation: The Early Days is the title. Of course, it will only take a moment to bring up the contents. Ah, it looks to be a text-based account. I'll read it out. Preservation, an Alexandrian Institute for Technological Development, was founded by Calix, an 11-year-old child prodigy? That's why he's so fucking reckless. He has a mind of an 11-year-old. Approval for establishing the organization came during Alexandria's involvement in the storm surge, with Calix's designs for new defensive solutions founded in large part by the Treasury. Dude. Yeah, let a child decide all that. Yeah. Yeah. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calix funneled Preservation's resources towards the perfection of memory storage. Research into this field continued even after the storm surge came to an end, with Calix eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So this account is from before he embraced his endless existence, hundreds of years ago. I met him only once before the storm surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria, and the guy who authorized this, probably. Calixtus could not have been more than 10 years of age and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness. Yet, still he published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was aware of his achievements. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So it was that when war came to our kingdom, my father was quick to commit his unwavering support to this somber youth and his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence brought the death of both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by my sudden succession to the throne, I suspect they spared me the reports on endless research and other less urgent matters. So you had no way of knowing what kind of person Calix was changing into. Did he change? I wonder. Perhaps he has ever been the type to value ideals over compassion, and I failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs that mortality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from his fate, from this fate. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? If I've done my job correctly, the door to the Dawntrail lab should be accessible now. I'll give everything a once over just to be sure. Very nice. The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. The security card, if you please. Oh, and a quick prayer that a shorted wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. Oh god. No more losses, please. A calculated evolution. Shale is examining the card scanner. Right, I'll get this door open. Ta-da! Phew, smooth as silk. Let's head inside and see what awaits. La 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 la. Gods above, isn't that? Oh no, oh no. Oh, okay. Wait! Flashbang? Another flashbang, thank you. The key to interdimensional fusion? Another? How is this just left here? How? That looks to be a schematic on the monitor. And they've used it to make another key, but isn't it missing the shard inside like the one Eliena has? Oh, so it's a copy. We may have been laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Milala relic. Once this treasure came into its possession, preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all the vessel's components were constructed here. So what might that tell us? The crystal itself is the key. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. It is as my parents explained. Oh, another flashbang. Thank you, game. The key remains shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented it with electrope, but never grasped the technology's underlying principles. To this day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion. Not who imbued the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Now it makes sense. Calyx can track the key because its vessel was made by preservation. Break it! I believe there is much we may learn in this room. On our next visit, I will have to enlist Ishtola's assistance for a thorough investigation. She's gonna love it! I too am curious about a great many things, but pinning down Calyx's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully, there is a security card here that grants access to the director's office. The research conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of the personnel must have belonged to the organization's upper echelons, and that means higher security clearance. We should spread out and look for any cards they left behind. Remember, anything less than a level 3 is no good to us. Gotcha. Okay, if you were a level 3 security card, where would you be? There is a storage crate. Oh, there's like others going on here. Wait, what? Oh. Oh, that's the... No. There is a cabinet drawer. And a wheeled shelving unit. Okay. Oh, it's a level 3. Nice. Shell, I found it. If it isn't exactly what we needed, nice work, Eliena. Thank you. Oh, level 3. That should get us into the director's office. So, what was it you were hoping to find in there again, Shale? You were saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right, I haven't properly explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. Yeah, nobody knows what that is. After we discovered the ostensibly abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation which detected a connection to an outside network. When I traced the data's routing, I confirmed traffic from a web of Everkeep's security cameras. Considering the way Calyx is always one step ahead of us, we must assume he's quietly seized control of the city's surveillance system and has been using it to monitor our activities. To monitor what you, as the key holder, are planning. Break the cup. Break it. But since Calyx is the ultimate recipient of those transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to him. Which is why I need the data relay. If I can analyze the device and see where it's rerouting all this surveillance traffic, then you can pinpoint Calyx's position. That said, he has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes me think I might be on entirely the wrong track. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping us is because he can't. Back in the old castle, Calyx said he was measuring Eliena's strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than her? I know, right? Nothing. Oh, speaking of cameras, there was another thing I meant to mention. I found evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. The most recent recording was also crudely deleted. I was able to restore the data though, if you'd like to see it. Oh yes. I'll start the show then. Let's go.
Are you really planning to leave?
Yes. The idea of eternal life. It's begun to frighten me. I struggle to renounce our conventional wisdom. Death is the means by which life prunes its branches, leaving the trunk to grow strong and tall. We die so that our species may flourish. What would become of mankind were we to halt that process? If unending stagnation is the fruit of our labor, then perhaps we strive for the wrong thing.
This hair, oh my god.
Your argument is a rejection of Master Calix's vision.
I suppose it is. Perhaps such dread would not plague me, were I capable of sharing his perspective on the subject. But I cannot. He and I are too different, in too many ways. I lack his extraordinary genius. I had no illness threatening to cut my life short, no singularity of will to cut away all distractions and focus solely upon research. I have nothing but respect for his determination. The way he overcame his prognosis and seized the means to transcend death itself. But I'm not convinced that this obsession with living is the right path. That's why I've decided to leave preservation and put all my effort towards building a legacy for the next generation to come. Surely you...
Protocol, you understand. There can be no exceptions.
What in the flying fuck? She only wanted to leave and he executed her. Yes. I checked the images against the personnel data and the man who pulled the trigger was Director Demetrius himself. Everything I could find on him pointed to a deep infatuation with Master Calix. Ugh. The cameras in this room have been out of operation ever since that incident. Given that the recording was erased, I could only assume he was trying to conceal his grisly deed from the other researchers. I am not surprised given how my parents described their defection from the Institute. They spoke of rushing me through a portal, even as preservation's agents closed in on them. I dared not ask what became of them after that. But if it turns out they were captured by their pursuers... Oh, another flashbang, god damn it. Ugh. And another one? They did not regret their actions. Right, the echo. Knowing you saw them as they were, your words give me great comfort. Oh, Kryl. Worry not, Sven. Thanks to the Haven of Living Memory, I was at least able to meet my parents and learn what they stood for. It is enough for me to carry on. Even now, we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents and preservation. But what we do know is that your mother and father cleverly expunged every last trace of their movements. They made sure no one could cross into the source or threaten their child's safety. Yeah. Right? Let's press on, shall we? This tale behind the key deserves a fitting conclusion. To the director's office! Whee! I love it. I wavy. Meow. There we go, let's head inside. Now to find that data relay, and don't be shy everyone, speak up if anything odd catches your eye. Eliena, come with me, I might have need of that security card. I would never stay behind, I want to see everything. Not very good taste in decoration, but... Damn, this terminal isn't connected to any outside network, so it can't be the data relay I'm looking for. This office is also smaller than the map suggested. Aha, hidden path? Where? I'm positive we're in the right room. What am I missing? Sorry, Eliena, could I ask you and the others to search the office for any clues to this infuriating puzzle? Of course. Beverage station? Oh my god, I'm kind of thirsty. I should grab a drink or something. Soul cell storage case. Office shelves. Could it be here? Or in the cluttered thingy? Or maybe, I don't know. Oh hey! I'll have to grab water, hang on. My water's somewhere else. Thank you. I've hydrated. Oh, I think I'll drink more water. I've been talking non-stop. For the last 2 hours and a half. Alright. I found a note. Secure room lift access. Requires passwords to be input simultaneously at terminals in the Proto Lab, the Deutero Lab, and the Director's office. I found the thing, Shale. There's probably a thing everywhere, so... Oh. Amongst other personal effects, you find what is presumably the Director's data tablet. A closed locker stands next to the table. Tablet. You pick up the data tablet and begin skimming through the contents. I want to see everything. Nothing of note. The mystery of the key's activation condition remains unsolved. The key triggered an explosion today. Woof! Temporary interdimensional portal verified. Continue attempts to stabilize the core's energy reactions. 13 researchers sustained fatal injuries in the explosion. Memory faculties of 4 personnel sufficiently intact for endless conversion. Remaining 9 designated for ether reclamation processing. What? Nothing of note. Rejected resignations of 2 Milala researchers. Oh. Major incidents. Incident. Details in full report. Those 2 inept Milala broke with preservation and absconded with the key. Though the fugitives have since been caught and eliminated, we were too late to recover the relic. Oh my god. Why didn't they stay with Kryl, I wonder? The only reason we retained our flesh was to serve Master Calyx as physical instruments to conduct his experiments. Deprived of the object of our research, our existence serves no further purpose. I dare not imagine the depths of his disappointment in me. The complex is to be shut down. All personnel will have their bodies reduced to ether, which will be allocated for further experimentation. Holy shit! Memory data will be archived. Any endless conversions will be subject to Master Calyx's discretion. If he does not deem us fit, then we are not deserving of eternal life. God damn. Shutdown protocols. All personnel have undergone processing. Once the shutdown protocols have been completed, I will proceed with my own corporeal dissolution. As long as the key... Hang on, okay. As long as the key remains in the physical world, we must keep this complex in pristine condition. Whether it be needed for experiments or otherwise, it must be ready to support future operations in whatever capacity Master Calyx requires. To that end, facility equipment will be maintained in stasis mode. Furthermore, a critical component for secure room access will be stored separately to defend against unauthorized entry. They fucking killed her parents. Having lain dormant for years, the now active coffee maker has already entered the self-cleaning cycle. It appears to have no other purpose beyond brewing coffee, though it remains to be seen when it will be able to do so once more. Okay. And the soul cell storage case. The collection of soul cells may have once belonged to the director. They appear to be empty. Well, Shale, this thing is dark as fuck. Have you found something? Oof, have I? Thank you. A misplaced note, was it? With instructions for accessing a secure room, no less. Seems we need to enter a password on 3 different terminals at the same time. There was no such room marked on the map, was there? No. A precautionary measure, no doubt. And if passwords are involved, I expect the access lift itself is concealed too. Concealed? By Electrope, you mean? Could it be that wall? I thought it seemed odd when I walked past. Remember what Claudia used to say, Shale? Never trust an Electrope surface. You can't pass right through Electrope. Truly, it never had the property in my time. Eliena is having a little fun, I think. What we mean is Electrope can project a false appearance. What? But it's true! In which case it shouldn't be too hard to disable. Ta-da! The elevator. Another door! I've managed to deactivate the projection, but the lock is another story. Didn't that note lay out the password protocol? I say we go ahead and try it. I agree. 2 people should prepare the lab terminals for input, while the rest of us look for passwords here in the office. I'll take the proto lab. I'll take the Dawntrail lab. Actually, it might be better if you stayed, Sven. Your knowledge of Alexandria and its people could be needed here. Yes, you're right. If the passwords are hiding behind clues, that may be something I can help with. I can help too. I've lived my whole life in Alexandria after all. Your whole life of what, 5 years? I will take Dawntrail lab duty then. We can keep in touch via communicator to match our timing. Eliena, you shall have the honor of entering the office password. Once we've determined what we need to input, take your place at this terminal. I'll stand by to guide Wuklamat and Cryo through the process. You know, there was that display plate over there. The one with the gems. I thought since it was made of electrope, it might have some other purpose. But I couldn't find any switches or buttons to make it do anything. Maybe you can figure it out. Huh. Two jewels are embedded in this electrode plate. You identify the blue gem as a sapphire and the red gem as a garnet. We're missing a Sven. Are we? Wink wink. There also appears to be an empty slot for another jewel to fill. Gonna find a fucking jewel, I guess. Okay. I kept searching the drawers with the books and found a cube puzzle made of electrope. It's probably just a toy, but maybe? Solve the puzzle. Let's see, if I move this bit, then connect the circuit to that one. There! Huh? There was something inside. Oh, it's a pretty green stone. I think it might be Alexandrite. Oh, that's convenient. They say these gems were so treasured in the past that they named the kingdom after them. Here, you should hold on to this one, just in case. I'm gonna do the thing. Insert the Alexandrite. Oh, yay! The gemstone fits snugly into place. Almost immediately afterwards, the glowing lines of a diagram appeared on the display, accompanied by a short phrase. A floor plan of this complex? As you continue studying the display, you realize that these shapes correspond to the rooms of the complex in which you now stand. This may be related to the passwords you were looking for. Sapphire on the Protolab. Alexandrite in the director's office. And the Dawntrail lab is a garnet. Scrawled phrase. The glowing words appear to be handwritten. Yes, I knew that jewel would come in handy. Let me see. Heed the stones. This must be about the special meanings Alexandrians have for gems. It's an old belief, I think, where each type of gem means something different. I bet if you ask Sven, she could tell you more about it. After all, even her name comes from a gemstone. Yeah. Can I leave or... Okay. Spin. Yes, if you have questions, you need only ask. The symbolism of Alexandrite. Well, I was taught that Alexandrite represents the concept of protection. It is incidentally also the origin of Alexandria's name. Oh, are you thinking this has something to do with the passwords? Yes. A sapphire and a garnet as well, you say. Well, they all have meanings. Alexandrite, as I said, is protection. Sapphire represents honesty, and garnet symbolizes devotion. We should try these words at the terminals and see if they are accepted. I certainly hope we are right. Fuck yeah. We're all set to go here. Wuklamat and Cryo are just waiting on their passwords. Let's start with Wuklamat in the Protolab. What word should she enter? Protection. And the password for Cryo in the Dawntrail? Devotion. The director's office is... Wait. I think I misplaced? No. Yeah, I did. Hang on. I forgot. Oh, Alexandrite is protection, sapphire is honesty, and garnet is devotion. I did the other way around. Protolab is honesty, devotion, and protection. There you go. Whoopsie. Hey. Open sesame. Oh, I'm so glad that worked. That secure room is the only place we've yet to search. If the data relay is anywhere, it has to be there. Hi, Jeans! How did your stream go? We'll venture in as soon as Wuklamat and Cryo rejoin us. Fuck yeah, my guy. Shale, let's go. Alright everyone, time to board the lift and see what awaits us. Woo! Noot noot. The size of this monitor.
This terminal doesn't look special to me, but this is definitely what we're after?
It is, but whether or not it will suffice for our purposes is another question.
The Endless are created using the memories of the deceased. But as memories are, in essence, collections of data, the resultant entities have no physical form. These data entities, as we might call them, have only two methods for interacting with the material world. One of these we saw in Living Memory, where the Endless are granted temporary bodies through the use of corporeal ether. They become much like solid ghosts that one can see and touch. The other method, which Kafkiwa employed, is the remote operation of a machine. But where do you suppose the Endless are to be found when not inhabiting a physical body? The Endless are memories. And if memories are data, then...
inside Electrum somewhere in a world formed of data? I don't know.
Yes, we suspect they reside in a virtual domain, one contained entirely within an electrope-based machine. We've seen such a realm before, after all.
Oh, you mean like the Alexandria made from the Endless Fiend's memories? It all seems so real.
So this virtual domain, it would also be housed within the Meso Terminal.
But how? I thought we shut down all the terminals in living memory.
You did. And Kafkiwa's program performed just as she intended. The Meso Terminal itself was deactivated, as evidenced by the failure of the device which was keeping Sphne's body in stasis. Be that as it may, we face a master of electrope engineering. That he managed to partition and protect the sector harboring his own memories is well within the bounds of possibility.
Fucking hell.
Let us say that the Meso Terminal does indeed contain a second domain, and that Calyx himself resides there. This city, on the other hand, exists here in the source. That being the case, I thought perhaps we could prevent his remote interference by closing the gate to the Golden City, and thus severing the connection between worlds.
Oh, clever.
Except I tried to close it once already when I visited Living Memory. The process required administrative authorization, a restriction I assumed at the time had been imposed by the Queen.
But now you think Calyx might be responsible.
Just as I suspected. Even now, security transmissions from throughout the Keep are being tapped by the core system and routed elsewhere. Almost every single one has you as its focus. He's keeping track of the keyholder's movements.
Time's up, and what a waste of time it's been. Hoping to find me by tracing security data? That will not be necessary. Through a not inconsiderable effort, I've taken your measure and prepared a force sufficient to subdue you. Come. I invite you to the upper reaches of the Meso Terminal. The storage device which holds my memories is there. Break the memory bank and victory is yours. I, in turn, will seek to wrest the key from you with any and every means at my disposal.
And if we refuse this invitation?
I will wait and continue to convert Alexandrians into Endless.
What a question.
Consider the urgency of the situation and make the wiser choice.
Answer me one question, Calyx. The Endless Fiend. When she was queen, you had her face an impossible task, then manipulated her into using the key when she was at her most desperate. If you can do all that, then why not whisk it away when her plans went to ruin? Why let it fall into our hands?
Good question.
You pour salt in the wound. That disaster was a miscalculation on my part.
Oh.
As her end drew near, Sphene and her restructured memories had become one with the terminal's control systems. In that singular place, in that singular moment, she wielded an authority greater than mine. Thus she was able to shield you, the neighboring sovereign to whom she entrusted her nation's future, and the hero to whom she entrusted that priceless key.
Huh.
I am unsure to what degree she perceived my presence, but she knew that someone was watching. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
A little.
It does. And I'm satisfied that you will take nothing more from this nation. Not one more life, not one more future, not one single smile from another child's face. You hear me?
He's a child himself.
Sorry for losing my temper, but there's only one way we can deal with people like Calyx. Whatever grand future he envisions, someone will be made to pay the price. And I won't let that happen.
He's wrong if he thinks he's taken our measure. Aw.
If I may, I realize it is not my place to say this. Even so, I must thank you both. On behalf of my other self, allow me to say how grateful I am to have you as our champions.
Phew, that was an adventure. It may not have been by the method Shea was hoping for, but at least now we know where to find Calyx and what we need to do next. Indeed, while I remain curious about Preservation's research into the key, that's an investigation for another day. No! I wanna know! Dang it. Then let's head straight to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. Damn that bastard Calyx. He waited until I was this close before snatching away my moment of triumph. And that infuriating, condescending way he spoke to us. We'll see whose time is up, you smug little weasel. Yes. Anyway, I know things didn't go to plan, but we learned a great deal about preservation. That knowledge could come in handy in the days to come. Though I may not be able to contribute much to a direct confrontation, I mean to see this through with you all, providing whatever support I can.